A day at the beach. The sun was high, casting a golden glow over everything. The sand was warm beneath our feet, inviting us to kick off our shoes and feel its comforting embrace. The sky was a brilliant blue, with only a few wisps of clouds drifting lazily by. Laughter echoed across the private beach, a symphony of joy and freedom. Families and friends gathered, their voices mingling with the sound of the waves. It was a perfect day, filled with the promise of endless fun and relaxation. Until it wasn't. We found this hidden gem, a secluded cove far from the crowds. It was our little paradise, a place where we could escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life. The water was crystal clear, and the gentle waves lapped at the shore, creating a soothing melody. My daughter Lily, 8 years old, her laughter as bright as the sun, splashed in the shallows. She was full of energy and curiosity, exploring every nook and cranny of the beach. Her joy was infectious, spreading to everyone around her. Her cousin Chloe, just a year older, mimicked her every move, their bond unbreakable. They chased each other through the water, their giggles ringing out like music. They built sandcastles decorated with shells and seaweed, their imaginations running wild. They were more than cousins. They were sisters by choice. Their bond was forged in shared experiences and countless hours of play. They held hands as they explored, their connection evident in every glance and smile. Inseparable since birth, they shared secrets, dreams, and that unspoken language only siblings understand. They whispered to each other, their heads close together, sharing their hopes and fears. Their bond was a beautiful thing to witness, a testament to the power of love and friendship. Sisters by heart. Lily, with her fiery red hair and contagious laugh, was fearless, always the leader. Chloe, quiet and observant, with eyes that mirrored the deep blue sea, followed Lily's lead with unwavering trust. Their laughter was a symphony, filling the air with joy. I watched them, my heart overflowing with love, unaware that this idyllic scene was about to shatter. The tide, almost imperceptibly, began to shift. The gentle waves grew stronger, the pull of the water more insistent. It happened so fast. The tide turns. 1 minute, the girls were giggling, their little feet digging into the wet sand. The next, a rogue wave, bigger than the others, crashed upon them, dragging them both into the churning water. Panic seized me. My heart hammered in my chest. My legs, heavy as lead, struggled to move. Lily, Chloe. My voice, a strangled cry, was swallowed by the roar of the ocean. Adrenaline surged through my veins. I raced towards the water, the sand shifting beneath my feet. Every breath, every step, an eternity. A race against time. The current, strong and unforgiving, had swept them both further out. Lily, her small face contorted in fear, struggled against the waves, her cries for help swallowed by the relentless roar of the ocean. Chloe, quieter, her head barely above water, fought with silent desperation. 2 lives, precious and irreplaceable, hanging by a thread. The impossible choice. My mind screamed, who to save first, my daughter, my flesh and blood, or my niece, the child I loved as my own? Frozen in fear, my legs churned through the water, each stroke fueled by sheer terror and love. The waves crashed over my head, the salt stinging my eyes, blurring my vision completely. But the current, relentless, unforgiving, seemed determined to keep us forever apart. Lily's cries grew fainter, her small body tossed about like a rag doll. Chloe, her strength fading, slipped beneath the surface, her dark hair fanning out like seaweed. My heart shattered into a million tiny pieces. The impossible choice. Time seemed to stand still. My mind, a whirlwind of fear and indecision, struggled to process the impossible choice before me. My daughter, my precious Lily, or Chloe, the child who was as dear to me as my own. Each wave that crashed around me seemed to whisper the question, forcing me to confront the agonizing truth. I could only save one. The weight of that realization threatened to crush me. How could I possibly choose between 2 lives, both equally precious? A mother's love. Instinct took over. Maternal instinct, primal and fierce, surged through me. I lunged towards Lily, my arms outstretched, desperate to reach her before it was too late. With a surge of adrenaline, I grabbed her small hand, her grip surprisingly strong, a lifeline in the churning water. Pulling her close, I fought against the current, my heart pounding with each breath. We struggled towards the shore, each step a victory against the relentless ocean. But the guilt, a heavy weight, settled in my stomach. Chloe. Drowning in despair, turning back, I scanned the churning water, searching for any sign of Chloe. The waves, like hungry wolves, seemed to mock my desperate hope. Despair washed over me, cold and suffocating. I had saved my daughter, but at what cost? The image of Chloe's face, her eyes wide with fear, was seared into my mind. We reached the safety of the shore, Lily coughing and sputtering, clinging to me as if her life depended on it. And in that moment, it did. The aftermath. The word itself carries a weight, a sense of finality that is hard to shake off. The beach, once a place of joy and laughter, now stood as a silent witness to the tragedy that had unfolded. The search for Chloe lasted for hours, the Coast Guard, their faces grim, combing the unforgiving ocean. Each wave seemed to mock our efforts, each gust of wind a cruel reminder of nature's indifference. The sea, vast and unyielding, held its secrets tightly, refusing to give them up easily. Hope, fragile and fading, dwindled with each passing moment. The searchers, their eyes scanning the horizon, wore expressions of deep concern. Every minute that passed felt like an eternity, stretching the limits of our endurance and our hope. As the sun began its final descent, casting long shadows across the beach, they found her. The golden hues of the sunset painted a stark contrast to the somber discovery. The beach, bathed in the soft light of dusk, seemed to hold its breath as the search team approached the lifeless form. Lifeless, her small body cradled by the waves, a tragic reminder of the ocean's unforgiving power. The gentle motion of the water seemed almost tender, as if the sea itself mourned the loss. It was a scene that would be etched into our memories forever, a haunting image of innocence lost. The guilt, sharp and relentless, tore at me. I could feel it gnawing at my insides, a constant reminder of my failure. The weight of responsibility pressed down on me, making it hard to breathe, hard to think. Every decision, every action replayed in my mind, each one a potential turning point that could have changed the outcome. I had saved my daughter, but the price I paid was too high. The relief of having her safe in my arms was overshadowed by the crushing weight of loss. The joy of reunion was tainted by the knowledge of what had been sacrificed. It was a bittersweet victory, one that left a permanent scar on my heart. The memory of Chloe's laughter, her infectious smile, would forever haunt me. Her joy, so pure and unrestrained, was now a painful reminder of what could never be again. The sound of her laughter echoed in my mind, a ghostly presence that refused to be silenced. It was a reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of love and loss. A life preserver for the soul. The title itself evokes a sense of hope and salvation, yet the journey to find that solace is often fraught with pain and heartache. The days that followed were a blur of grief and guilt. Each sunrise brought with it a new wave of sorrow, and each sunset seemed to deepen the shadows of regret that loomed over me. Lily, traumatized but alive, was a constant reminder of the impossible choice I had been forced to make. Her eyes, once filled with innocence, now carried the weight of our shared tragedy. The ocean, once a source of joy and wonder, now filled me with dread. Its vastness seemed to mock my pain, its depths a cruel reminder of what had been lost. It held the memory of Chloe, her laughter lost beneath the waves, a constant ache in my heart. Every ripple, every wave seemed to whisper her name, a haunting echo of the past. Time, they say, heals all wounds. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, I found that some wounds festered, refusing to close. But some scars run too deep, some choices too impossible to forget. The photographs, the memories, they all served as a painful reminder of what could have been. The weight of that day, the impossible choice, would forever be etched in my soul. It was a burden I would carry with me, a silent testament to the love and loss that had shaped my life. Yet, in the midst of this sorrow, there was a glimmer of hope. The ocean, with all its power and mystery, also held the promise of renewal. Each wave that crashed upon the shore was a reminder that life, despite its hardships, continues to move forward. And so, I stood at the water's edge, looking out at the horizon, and made a silent vow to honor Chloe's memory, to cherish the moments I had with Lily, and to find a way to heal, even if the scars would always remain. For in the end, it is not the absence of pain that defines us, but the strength to carry on, to find meaning in the midst of our suffering, and to hold on to the hope that one day we will find peace. Your choice? And so I ask you, dear reader, faced with the same horrific scenario, the same impossible choice, what would you have done? Who would you have saved? Share your thoughts, your own experiences, your reflections on this heart-wrenching dilemma. For in sharing, we find solace, understanding, and perhaps a way to navigate the treacherous waters of life's impossible choices.